bitches. Good morning, bitches.
Good morning.
I'm gonna put this over here.
That's responsible of you.
Well, I'm not gonna need it again.
That's true. We're trying something a little different today.
Yeah, so today is gonna be our last Good Morning Bitches until June 22nd. Because we are having a vacation. We're having a stay-at-home vacation. We took 2 weeks. We both took 2 weeks off work because we were going to be on tour. That is obviously not happening now, but we are going to be doing a virtual tour. So check out our social media for listings of that.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about that last episode. And we're also just going to be doing stuff around the house.
Yeah, I mean, the next time you see this room on a Good Morning Bitches, it might be a different color.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully it will be.
Yeah.
And hopefully we won't hate it.
Yeah.
Because we get to go to Lowe's for it, you know? So, today, I wanted to just take a little bit of time to talk about Brianna Taylor. Because today would have been her birthday. Sorry, I just wolfed down a bagel.
Yeah, we both just absolutely crushed bagels.
So if anybody is unaware, Breonna Taylor was an EMT who lived in Louisville, Kentucky, who was just shy of her 27th birthday. Today would have been her 27th birthday. And she was killed in her home by 3 policemen who still haven't been brought to justice. And, the George Floyd's murder is what really kickstarted the protests that are going on now. As it should have, it was absolutely unbelievable. But Breonna Taylor was killed just a few days before that, and under not dissimilar circumstances in that it was three policemen. Everybody involved knows who killed her. The difference being it wasn't on camera. But basically, what happened was they were executing what's apparently called a no-knock warrant, where they can just burst into your house, trying to pick up somebody who did not live at that address and who actually was already in custody. Apparently, her address was mentioned on the warrant because she had known this person, and there were suspicions that he had picked up mail there. But the idea that would be enough to do what they did is unconscionable. And essentially, they just burst through her door while her and her boyfriend were asleep, not identifying themselves and not wearing body cameras.
They were also in plainclothes as well, right?
At least 2 of them were, yeah. And her boyfriend is a legally permitted gun owner and did what the NRA will tell you is exactly what he should have done. When someone bursts into your home, not identifying themselves, he used his gun to defend them. He shot in the direction of the cops. He didn't hit the cops. They returned fire and killed Breonna Taylor. The entire thing is just unbelievable. And those 3 cops have still not been convicted of anything. I believe the FBI have finally got involved to gather evidence. I think the evidence is pretty clear. And I've seen some stuff recently there's a Facebook group for the upstate area that we are in. And it's an interesting read for me because most of my friends in America live in cities. And the people up here have a different experience. They largely have no experience with the police.
Mm-hmm.
and you see some pretty unbelievable comments. Not the majority of people, but you do see them. And there's one guy who always comes in with a load of copy pasted statistics that he says proves that it's all nonsense and black people aren't treated worse by the cops than white people are. I mean, his math is way off because he's looking at totals.
Right.
But black people are what, like 13% of the population. So I mean, his math is terrible anyway. But I think even in a world where that's right, when it clearly isn't, the fact that there are police behaving like this to anybody is a problem. You shouldn't be able to burst into someone's home in the middle of the night and kill them in their bed.
Well, I mean, and theoretically, you are not. That is against the law. But there's the kind of the level of unchecked authority that exists is what allows that kind of power to run rampant. And this leads us to the situation that we're in now, where the police have been sort of allowed to run rampant, and that's not to say that, it's not to say that that is every instance. We know there are good cops, but we also have absolutely undeniable evidence that there are cops that are killing black people just because they have the power to do it.
I think there's a wider problem as well. I mean, the level that the police are being charged with dealing with everything when they're clearly untrained and over-equipped.
Yeah.
Is what's happening. You can very well be a good cop, but if you are tested in a situation like that and you react with what minimal training you've had and the human killing weaponry that you have, you're not a good cop anymore. Yeah, I mean, we're at a position now where the NYPD is behaving abominably, attacking people who are peacefully protesting police violence. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
And like the lack of understanding that is what's happening. And I mean, they are, by definition, they are fulfilling the orders that they're being given. So it's not just these assholes out here cracking people over the head for standing peacefully in the street. It's also the mayor, who is a big problem because he could put an end to this right now. And everybody gave him the benefit of the doubt when he first arrived. He seemed fairly right on, but it's nonsense.
Yeah, and we've been trying this week to educate ourselves and sort of strike a balance on the show here between being here and being, I don't want to say positive, but having something to deliver and having something to contribute to the conversation and having conversations that can be difficult. But we thought it was worth it today to talk about Breonna Taylor because it's important to keep these stories in the conversation. There are too many stories like this, and it's important that there is a flashpoint that ignited all of this, but the other stories can't sort of get buried in the process. And
I mean, the Louisville police force who killed Brianna Taylor killed David McCarthy at his restaurant like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
The guy who owned a little tiny roadside barbecue joint. A bunch of people ran in from the cops and they fired. It wasn't live rounds, it was some kind of crowd dispersal, whatever's. into the restaurant, one of which nearly hit this guy's niece. And once again, legal firearm owner responded how he's been told he's legally
Right.
allowed to do, fired back at whatever was firing into his restaurant, and was killed. Again, by police just not, they're not looking out for anyone at this point. It's just a rabble. It's undisciplined, it's untrained, and it has far too much weaponry. Honestly, they kit it out like they're going to war. If you're not looking for trouble in the streets, why are you turning up dressed like that?
Yeah.
Because the people that you are trying to disperse are not wearing helmets and shields. They're just people trying to march peacefully. So yeah, that's what we wanted to talk about today.
Yeah. And that being said, if you are out protesting and demonstrating, be careful, look out for yourself, look out for each other. This is real, it's dangerous.
But we're 100% behind you.
Yes, we are. So we wanted to talk about that before we go.
Yeah.
We also, today is another bandcamp day where bandcamp is waiving all their fees. So
that basically means that if you buy something from bandcamp today, even more money goes to the artist. It's not 100% because PayPal is still taking that cut.
Yeah.
But it is much closer to 100%.
Mm-hmm. So we wanted to, instead of, covering songs from bands today, because, then we only get to feature one or two, we just wanted to, suggest some bands that and artists that you could look into, that you could purchase, that you could support, Black artists and creatives and people in all the different kinds of bands. We wanted to put that out there and, not just cover their music, but also
we
encourage you to support them.
There is a list I've seen going around social media that's like 100 plus Black artists that you can support at Bandcamp right now. I just saw it before we went on. I don't know. I'd imagine some of these are on it. These are artists that are friends of ours. These are artists that we've played with. And then there are also just artists that we really like. It's not 100 artists.
No.
This is just a list we put together last night. You want to start?
You start.
Okay. I would say, I'm just going to read from the top. This is a stream of consciousness list, I'm now realizing. So More Mother is at the top. More Mother is a sort of multi-disciplined artist, releasing albums on, I think, Don Giovanni. Pretty sure Don Giovanni. If it's somewhat undescribable, you have to just sort of check it out. It scared the shit out of the cats when I played the most recent record. So More Mother.
MOOR, right?
Yeah.
MOOR, Mother.
Shamir, another great artist who I think is doing like a one-off, like a only available for 24 hours release today, I think I saw. So Shamir is a non-binary artist, although he uses he, him pronouns still. And he has, I think, 4 releases on Bandcamp, and his sound has really changed quite a lot between releases. So I would basically recommend buying all of them.
Yeah.
But you should anyways. You should anyway. Really, his first 2 records aren't on there. So, full disclosure, I became aware of Shamir originally because his second record, which I think was his first album, I think the first record was an EP, was released by one of the labels that I work with. Everything after that has been released by his own label that he started, I believe, or at least the more recent ones. So those first 2 aren't on Bandcamp, but everything that he's released himself is on Bandcamp and is very cool. And also he grew up in Vegas, which I find consistently fascinating. What is that like?
Yeah.
You want to take one?
Do you want to do that first?
Okay, we're going to go down the list.
Yeah,
all
just
right.
do it.
So the third one I wrote down is Spencer, who is on 4AD now. And I'm actually not sure if the 4AD singles are on Bandcamp, but his earlier self-released songs are. He's a young guy from Rochester, New York, and just really cool, super smooth voiced. He plays bass. And then I haven't actually seen him play live. I think he plays with like a 3-piece with his friends. He plays bass. And there's at least one song that's just him and bass. And just really nice, like soulful, I don't know how to describe it. It's very, some of the production is very like sparse. And there's a lot of songs about just like young love. He is very young, I think. I think he's younger than, I don't think he's 20. Maybe he's 20. Yeah, Spencer. Very cool.
Miss Eves, who we have adored since, the beginning of my term in Basic Bitches. I'm sure you've been into her for much longer, but yeah, Miss Eves, New York-based like rap hip hop artist. Her song Thunder Thighs is one of the greatest things I've ever heard. We both have lightning bolt tattoos on our thighs in recognition of its greatness. She's amazing. We've seen her live, and she puts on a really great show. Her music is it's smart, it's fun, it's really witty, really sort of like, she's got attitude, and her delivery is great. So definitely.
She also makes all her own videos.
Yes.
She's a graphic artist by day, and also just a paper mache ninja.
Yeah.
And she also is a video maker, and her videos are outstanding.
They're great. Yeah.
Big Joni. Big Joni is a London-based 3-piece who I think, and apologies if this isn't true, but I think that they came out of one of those like first time fest things where people who haven't been in bands before put together bands. It's like they do it here as well, right? Maybe not.
Like a rock camp situation?
Kind of like a rock camp situation for grown-ups. And I think that they do it over like a weekend or something, and people who want to be in bands but like haven't known how to do it go to these things and meet other people, and they like put bands together. I think that is how Big Journey got together, and I do apologize if that's not true. But yeah, super cool.
So next up we have a couple of really rad 2-piece bands from Philly. Really strong 2-piece band contingent in Philly. We played 2-piece fest there in February, but one of the bands that we saw there was called King Azaz. So good. I don't really know how to describe the music, except that it was like kind of melodic, but also really fast, but just like hooky, like such solid riffs, like big drums. Really, it was great. One of my favorite bands that I saw at 2-piece fest this year. So and they have stuff on Bandcamp recently. I tried to get their music. I looked it up on the first Bandcamp day, and they didn't have anything out. And then like a week later, there was a record there. I was like, damn it! So that might be a purchase for me today. And also Shrill. Another really rad, just like grimy, like really like,
yeah, I don't even like hardcore.
Yeah.
Fast hardcore weird grunge.
Yeah, kind
Basically.
of like almost a stonery psychedelic, but like hardcore, just like grimy punk, like punk as fuck. That is cool
Yeah.
2-piece from Philly.
We played with them in a filthy basement.
We
in
played with
Philly.
it, on the first night of the honeymoon tour,
Mhm.
and it was great. So definitely check that out.
Yeah, and we'll be putting all of these in. We'll put them in the description of the YouTube, and we'll also like post them in our Instagram stories. Because some of these, Spencer and Shrill, there's like a few artists with, and Shamir actually, there's a few artists that use that name on Bandcamp. So it's a little tricky. So the next two, well, first there was a lady called Melanie Charles, who I found out about through the artist I'm going to talk about afterwards, Moses Sunday, who put together a playlist of Black artists, up-and-coming Black artists that he loved. So Melanie Charles is a Brooklyn-based singer. The most recent record is actually from a couple of years ago, so I'm not 100% sure what she's up to right now, hopefully working on new material. But yeah, super. I feel like I keep saying the word super. It's like my main adjective today. But really, like a kind of quite classic 60s tinged soul. The most recent record. I wish I'd written it down because I can never remember the name of the records. But with some really interesting samples on it, and just a wonderful voice. And then I was going to talk about Moses Sumney, who I found out about Melanie Charles from. Moses Sumney has a record out recently on Secretly Canadian, I think, which I presume you pronounce Gray, Grae.
Seems like.
And that's on Bandcamp along with some previous releases. And I was trying to think of how to describe that record, and I'm still not sure. I mean, I would say it's in the wheelhouse of, not the wheelhouse, that's the wrong word, but in the like general musical sphere of, for fans of something like Perfume Genius, but it's not, there's a similar like desire for expansiveness, but it's not as frenetic as Perfume Genius's most recent records are. It's much more. I'm struggling to think of a better word than ambient, because ambient as an adjective for music sounds very passive, and it's not. But there's the pace of it, I guess, is just what I'm trying to articulate. Is it's slower and more considered than Perfume Genius. And I mean, also there's just shades of like Sun Ra and David Byrne and like just all these other like very disparate types of music you can hear inside this one album. Plus his voice is wonderful. Just buy it. You won't regret it.
Also, our friends in Fisty. We played with them a couple of times. I feel like I've been playing with them in every single iteration of a band that I've been in New York. At a time, shared band members with Fisty.
That sounds right. They're one of those bands who I don't think that they get to hang out that often.
Yeah.
So it fascinates me that they managed to keep it going.
But like when they do and when they play, you can tell that they are having a great time, and they just really enjoy playing music together. And the music is really, it's like very like 90s kind of influenced, like rock, like power rock.
Yeah, so Lola, who is the singer and I presume songwriter, I don't think they write. I don't know. I don't want to say
they write collaboratively.
Yeah, I don't know. She's just like effortlessly cool human being.
Yeah,
and she's like guitar tech for like big artists and stuff, and like has been around the business for a long time. And I love her voice. They only have a couple of things on Bandcamp we just discovered.
Yeah.
It's just 2 songs. But I don't think that they're new songs. I think that maybe they just got a bandcamp.
Yeah, but
Um,
they're great. They're kind of a staple of our scene in Brooklyn. So, and I also wanted to mention Sidewalk Furniture from Durham. Really cool. I think they're a 4-piece now, but yeah, I really wanted to play with them when we were booking shows in North Carolina. They weren't available to play, but they were super nice and really helpful. And their songs are also like smart, sassy. They talk about, about being queer in that community, and like their songs are really, they're like, I'll say aggressive, but only in that they are so smart and so catchy. You can't not be into it. Like there's the first song that I heard from them, I think it's called Walkie Talkie, but it's just got this this relentless rhythm, and the way that the whole song is structured, it's like a big story, and I would never know all the words, but there are pieces of that song that just constantly loop in my head. They're really cool. And you should definitely, and they just released an album in April, a full length, so worth checking out. And they've played with other bands that we know from both from that area and from here. So they're also really cool. And yeah, I mean, there's so many out there.
Yeah.
This is just such a small sampling, but we wanted to take a minute instead of covering songs to bring to you more than just a couple of covers today. So
Yeah, and we'll be posting one of these on social media.
Yeah.
And there are other bands that I was disappointed to find didn't have anything on Bandcamp.
Yeah.
There's this band called Gangbox who are super new.
Oh yeah.
Who we played with at Alphaville. Who they haven't recorded anything yet. I was hoping that maybe they would have worked it out by now, but they haven't. There was someone else we were trying to find who didn't have a Bandcamp, but today is about Bandcamp. So
so support each other, support musicians and artists that are struggling right now just because of the situation with not being able to tour and play gigs, but also make the effort to find out about artists and musicians of color and queer artists and musicians of color. And
it is also Pride Month.
Yeah, there's that.
And everything else that's going on, we're also in Pride Month.
Yeah.
So especially for Bandcamp Day today, please make the effort to specifically seek out and support Black artists. I think it's so important. And in certain scenes, it's much harder for Black artists to be included.
Yeah.
I mean, I think especially, we've played a lot around sort of reggae and punk, but even more college rocky type things.
Yeah.
It's still unusual to see a Black person in one of those bands, and it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be.
And I think it's just a weird cultural thing.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that those bands aren't out there and that those musicians aren't out there making music. We just have to all make the effort to, to support them, and that's what we're doing. So,
yep,
there you have it.
Okay, so Good Morning Bitches will not be back until June 22nd. The first virtual tour show is going to be this Sunday.
Yep.
The 7th at 7 p.m. And we'll be posting it on Facebook. We will try and also do Instagram. And I don't know if we'll have to archive it and put it on YouTube. I don't think we have enough. We don't have enough phones. But yeah, we will try and get them on YouTube afterwards as well. Yeah.
So we hope you tune in. We hope to see you at the shows. But we know it's been a rough couple of weeks, couple of months. We are really lucky and grateful to be on vacation, whatever that means right now. But we're excited to be playing some music and try to use this time wisely. So maybe we're not going to be here at 9 o'clock in the morning because we might actually turn an alarm off.
I mean, we have cat alarms, so
Yeah, that's
still
true.
be waking up.
But so we'll still be out there, out or in here playing shows, and hopefully y'all tune in then. Mm-hmm. All right.
Bye, everybody.